It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Great to have you with us on 2K Sports. Tonight, we'll be watching the Houston Rockets playing against the Philadelphia 76ers. For Philadelphia, one thing we know, they feel they match up well in this contest. It's obviously an opponent they're confident going up against. We won't have to wait long to see if that confidence is well-founded. With the new year getting ramped up, teams just getting into the swing of things. Kenny, some major storylines already brewing. What are you seeing out there?
Well, you know, the rosters aren't coming together yet, and it's still early. It's still tough to figure it out. But then there's a lot of teams that's just off the radar right now, but they've been impressive. So I think that it's too early to tell. You know, too early to tell.
Hey, come on, you're going to give me an answer.
I can't give you these ELNs, these Ernie-like numbers yet. It's too early.
Well, I see emerging young guns. You know, I see a couple veterans now hitting the wall, physically getting up there in age. But I got to agree with Kenny, Ernie. It's too early to tell.
Jeez, I'm sorry I asked. Time to tip it off. Here's Kevin Harlan.
You asked too early.
Greetings, everyone. 2K Sports brings you the NBA. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by the talented analyst tandem of Greg Anthony and Chris Webber. David Aldridge is on our sideline. The last time these two teams met, it was the Rockets picking up the loss in the outing against Philly.
And if there's one aspect of the game that really stood out for me, it was the rebounding. Basketball is about possessions, and you saw a noticeable difference in terms of the effort both teams were putting forth.
Yeah, you have to make the effort to gain position. Keep position. Go harder after rebounds. None of that was happening.
Now a look at Philadelphia's starting lineup. Redick and Simmons are the 2 and the 3. Johnson is out there with Joel Embiid, and it's Fultz in at the 1. On offense, here are the Rockets. Want to keep rolling here following the win against Memphis.
Just a terrific effort off the bench. Guys came in, they seemed fresh, and they all contributed.
Well, and they played more than just a supporting role. I mean, without their points, it would have been tough to get that role win.
Well, Chris Paul signing the big contract this past offseason, and, you know, you knew he'd end up with one of the biggest deals out there, and his impact on a team goes far beyond just stats.
Shooting 2.
And he knocks down the first one. Well, Greg, Houston wanted Chris Paul, and they got their man. One of the bigger surprises, certainly, of the offseason.
Yeah, and without Paul on this roster, this team isn't in the conversation for winning. You need him to keep your window of winning open, and he is just that impactful and makes everyone on the floor better.
And both these teams very aggressive. Looking at early offense. Transition defense, I think, would be critical. What do you think?
Up-tempo basketball, Kevin. Up-tempo basketball. Right now, the pace. How do you control the pace? You got to control the boards. You got to be aggressive on the defensive end because this game can get out of hand if you don't get back on defense.
And so here is Houston. Now we'll go to our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. Had a chance to talk with head coach Brett Brown.
He's tried to remain upbeat about their performance this season, even though they have not played at the level of the elite teams in the league. He said the effort's been there, we just haven't gotten the results we've been hoping for. They continue to try to find answers. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, David. Redick for three, drills the three-pointer.
I really like the awareness from Fultz. It has an ability to know when one of his guys is wide open.
First 1:30 gone here in the first quarter. Paul kicks to Harden. And the shot no good, a bit short.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That just shows you can do everything right sometimes, but still get the wrong result.
And he gets the bucket.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Well, that opening right there, that's just because the defense failed to rotate.
Now here's Paul. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Grizzlies in Memphis.
Yeah, but what about the passing? Crisp, decisive. He racked up a ton of assists, impacted the game in a number of ways.
4 on the shot clock. Another miss by Harden.
I like the shot selection on that one, despite the miss.
Redick with it. Chris Paul covering. Embiid the screen. Wants to get it to Simmons and does. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws. That's on Clint Capella.
And Ben Simmons, who was the first pick in 2016 out of LSU, probably the most heralded player to come out of that school since the great Shaquille O'Neal. And I tell you what, Simmons has drawn some comparisons to some other greats, most notably LeBron James and Magic Johnson.
That free throw missing. And Greg, the Sixers want to ease him into it, but they see Ben Simmons not just as a point forward, but a point guard as well.
And he's got all the ability. Think about this. The Sixers haven't had a player 6'10 or taller average over 3 assists since Wilt Chamberlain back in 1967. The second they drafted Simmons, you knew that would change. And really few teams in NBA history have undertaken the sort of extreme makeover the Sixers did over the last 4 years. And a lot of losing along the way, but the fans have been surprisingly supportive of the rebuilding process.
Oh, and when Harden is going strong to the rim, he's looking for the throwdown, whipping the rim down hard on that one.
The 76ers have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Simmons against Ariza. Shoots from 12. They get it back. Embiid got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish. And Ariza with the stop.
Oh, you got to respect the fearlessness of Ariza, slamming it through in style.
Here's Fultz. 14 points from him the last game against Dallas. And before the rebuild, the Sixers for a long time were stuck in mediocrity. Treading water, Greg, as they might say.
Yeah, and it's hard to make that leap without top draft picks. And the Sixers plumbed the depths, if you will. Now, though, I think they found their treasure trove.
Looking at Philadelphia, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Mavericks in Dallas.
You know, a poor shooting night. I just got the sense they didn't work hard enough to get good looks.
Or selfishness. I mean, this is what happens when you don't make the extra pass. Your field goal percentage can go south.
And the shot is good.
Yeah, you got to keep pace with Fultz. He can't afford to lose him off the screen. He really shoots it well.
Harden with it. Now guarded by Redick. Bucket is good. Harden's got 6.
Shots are just flowing for him right now, having a really strong quarter.
Embiid the screen. Fultz kicks to Redick. Johnson right side. Embiid the screen. Here's Fultz. Tries again, and Capella sends it back. Paul with the ball. Left side Ariza. And it's blocked.
And don't forget about the long reach that Simmons possesses. He uses it exceptionally well on defense to come away with blocks like that.
Paul with the ball, now guarded by Fultz. Clock at 6. Paul kicks to Anderson.
Tremendous defense. That's Johnson's forte.
And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Anderson. Philadelphia's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Anderson against Johnson. The pass to Fultz. Johnson sends the screen for Fultz. There's the dish to Embiid. And he uses the glass on the layup. Embiid's got his second basket.
He got pretty much a free run to the hoop right there. They might just count those as automatic points.
Harden against Redick. And it's Anderson that time on the assist by Harden.
Oh, I love when Anderson uses his size down low. Now, you can always spread them out, but keep releasing it high so the D had no chance to block the shot.
Now, here's Redick. 11 points for him in that last game against Dallas.
You can't fault him for taking the 3 when he's that wide open. You can't pass that shot up.
Anderson the screen. Paul passes to Capella. Back to Paul. The tray. The shot, no good. And it's Philadelphia the other way. Now here's Fultz, defended by Paul. Johnson, and off the front iron, and in it goes.
Full credit to Johnson for getting that one to go. He has a guy right up in his jersey, and he still knocks it down.
Paul outside. Back to Harden. Ariza outside. The feed to Harden. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the jam by Harden.
Harden's strength is part of what makes him special. Able to score through all kinds of contact.
The 76ers trail. Embiid with the screen on Paul. Fultz kicks to Johnson. Pass to Simmons. Redick with the 3. Redick can't get that one to fall.
He's still looking to get into a groove this quarter.
Harden dishes to Paul. Basket counts. And it's a 4-point Rocket lead.
Well, it had been a little bit of a bumpy ride for Mike D'Antoni before coming to Houston. He had underwhelming results in New York and LA before taking time off from coaching, but he's found great success since coming back with the Rockets.
And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here. And when the Rockets hired Mike D'Antoni, there wasn't a lot of fanfare. But this has turned out to be one of the best fits in his coaching career. In fact, he was the NBA Coach of the Year last season.
Yeah, you never know how a coach will mesh with the team, and D'Antoni has fit in perfectly here. He made some changes early on and has the Rockets as a great offensive powerhouse. Even has the team playing some defense. I mean, something his teams have never been known for.
Houston, a whole new 5 on the floor. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
The 76ers shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. First one falls for him. Well, we always talk about how different eras of the NBA had different feels and how the game was called and how the game was played. Chris, what is the biggest change you have seen to the game since your era?
2 changes. One, you can't hand check, and that's really physical. That used to wear you down, take you out the game, and that stopped the freedom of movement. And that, along with playing the zone, where you can't just guard a guy and have to stay in your area. Those are 2 big changes because it really helped the offense. And so we want to see a lot of scoring, but today it's not easier to score because these guys have wonderful skill sets, but the game makes it easier to score because of the rules, because you can get to the line so many times. Because before a hand check, you couldn't get to the free throw line if a guy pushed you out of bounds almost, because the game was expected to be physical.
Right. The Rockets shooting their third free throw shot of the game.
One shot, gentlemen.
Now, here's McConnell. Passes to Luau. Feeds to Covington. Shoots the three. Hands it from downtown. Covington's got himself on the board with 3 there.
I don't know if that was by design or by accident, but the D not paying any attention to it.
Nene, the screen. Brown, the pass to Nene. Back to Brown. Rebounded by Holmes.
Now, that's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those 2 things that he possesses.
Stolen by Nene. Here's Tucker. Looking for his first basket still in this one.
And they can't allow him too many open looks like that. That's just inviting trouble.
Pass to Luau. Okafor up top, guarded by Nene. Covington kicks to Okafor. Here's Holmes over Mbamute. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Yeah, exceptional play there to take the bump and still get it to fall.
And last year, one of the bigger surprises in the NBA, the Houston Rockets.
And remember, absent Dwight Howard, a lot of people thought maybe they're going to take a step back. And in the year where several other super teams in the league kind of took a step forward, the Rockets were able to hold their own. The team has a system that works, and they have bought into it. And top to bottom, they've been making smart decisions.
And that one misses. Rockets leading by 3. Gordon inside. He had 31 points in the win against the Grizzlies in Memphis.
Fearlessness. Gordon using his strength to get off a good quality looking side. Well, last season, certainly it was one to remember for Eric Gordon. I mean, he was once a forgotten player, and that happened because of his injury, but he came back to be one of the key parts in a fantastic season for the Rockets.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
A free throw good from Eric Gordon. And with Gordon, the Rockets signing him did fly under the radar just a bit. He had been injured so much, and people didn't really know what to expect, mostly because nobody knew, with all those injuries, if he could play a full season. Well, he played 75 games last year.
Yeah, Kevin, and he came off the bench as well, which was perfect fit for that team and for him. I mean, he was able to find his groove, and he was able to put up big scoring numbers. He's always been nice offensively, but he got the short off last year.
Now here's Gordon. Jahlil Okafor unable to get his last shot to go.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Covington wide open. He fires. Off target from outside. Rockets leading by 6. Brown outside. And here's Tucker. The Rockets with another miss.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
No good from Luau. Houston's gone 1 of 5 from downtown in the first quarter. Points out there have been hard to come by. Back to Brown. And Rashawn Holmes gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second foul, and now they might really go at him. I mean, try to get a third foul and force him to sit on the bench.
screen by Baamute. Shot clock at 6. This one for 3. And it's Philadelphia with the rebound. Now McConnell. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Up top, Covington. Okafor with the ball. Nene on him. Okafor gets the bucket.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
We've got 1:23 left in the first quarter of the game. And Baamute dishes to Brown. To the paint. Here's Nene. The shot's good. Brown making the play.
Look at the intensity of Nene, one of the strongest guys in the game. Phenomenal at scoring the ball inside.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Dishes to Covington from deep. It's good for his second make. He's made 2 of 3 so far.
That's a good way to boost his three-point percentage. Take advantage of some soft defense.
50 seconds left to play here in the first. Brown kicks it to Tucker. The pass to Baamute. He dishes it to Gordon. And Okafor with the block. And here comes the break. Here's Luwawu. Another shot. And the layup is up and in. Now just a 1-point Houston lead.
Oh, tough effort right there on the glass. Those second chance points can pay off in a big way.
Brown with it. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Nene, the screen. Brown kicks to Baamute. Back to Brown.
Oh, great defense there. Anticipated the play and got there first.
Just 4 seconds left here in the first quarter. James Harden getting it done for Houston. He notched 8 points in the quarter and has that terrific basketball instinct on display. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And earlier, Chris Paul told us about the depth of their roster. So important for any team.
Our bench is amazing. It's so exciting because when our bench comes in, more often than not, if we're losing, they're going to get us the lead. And if we have the lead, they're going to increase the lead. And it's fun to watch because everybody cheers for each other, too.
When your starters feel that good about their second unit guys, that's a heck of a asset that a team can have. And if you've seen Chris Paul cheering from the bench, you know that it's very, very true.
And Kevin, that's the kind of team that's always been so much fun to play on. Everybody's really pulling for one another, no matter who's playing. Even in practice, with that kind of a team, you tend to have more fun.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And when you consider how the Rockets are doing, guys, what are your thoughts?
Just playing suffocating defense. That's been the difference here for them.
And really, for the whole first quarter, they've maintained their intensity. Let's see how long they can sustain it.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. Taking a look at the Rockets, P.J. Tucker is out there with Luke and Baamute. Then there's Nene. Then there's Gordon, and it's Brown in at the point. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Houston Rockets, one of the most explosive scoring teams in the league. Defense has been a shortcoming in the past. Coach Mike D'Antoni said, we have some good individual defenders. If the rest of them just try, well, that's the plan. Kevin?
Offense is what the Rockets are all about, D.A. You know that. Coach D'Antoni definitely focuses on this part of the game more than defense. The 76ers trail by 6. Pass to Luwawu. He feeds it to Okafor. Up and in, off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Brown kicks to Gordon. Nene, the screen. Outside Gordon. In the hoop for his third make from the field. He's 3 for 4 thus far in the contest.
They've settled into a nice groove offensively here in the second.
Here's Okafor. That one doesn't go. And the Rockets take it the other way. Next step for them, the Knicks, a road game in New York. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. Okafor with the steal. Got a piece of it and taken away by Brown. He's all alone. And Baamute with it. Now Okafor defending. The shot by Nene. No good. The 76ers trail by 6. Passes it to Llewellyn. Back to Covington. Fires the 3. It's rebounded by Houston.
Well, it appears as though he has lost his touch a little after connecting on 2 in the first quarter.
Brown outside. Back to Gordon. For 3. Hits the 3-point bomb. Gordon's got 10 points.
If you thought the D was going to tighten up on him here in the second quarter, think again.
And the 76ers call time here. So often there are some players who have one unstoppable move or something that they'll lean on if their team needs a basket. What did you feel your go-to move was when you were playing?
You know, I've said this many times. I just felt like my go-to move was just get a bucket. And so it depended on where I was on the floor. You know, I love the jump hook from the left block looking in, my 15-foot jumper, 17-foot jumper. I felt that if I came off a pick and roll and I caught the ball live, I could drive or I could shoot the jumper that if you were a big fella, you were at my mercy. And so, you know, those were really my spots on the floor to really try to do damage. So, you know, it's just about the point guard, the team that you're playing with, where shooters are on the floor in case you get double teamed, and just kind of knowing your game. And so I felt comfortable on many spots on the floor, and depending on what spot on the floor, time and possession, that's where I was going to go and just try to be successful.
I always felt you read well. You reacted well after your read.
Yeah, because, you know, I grew up on teams where coaches, you know, would want me to do the correct play, and just because you can shoot a jump hook, your favorite shot over 2 people, but if you have a wide open, great knockdown shooter in the corner, you're supposed to make that pass. And so that's what I mean about, you know, what's your favorite move. It really depends on where I was, because a lot of times it was to get my shot first, and then if I knew the defense was coming, it was to identify where that next guy was going to be. So if I didn't score, I was going to get the ball to the guy that was. And it was an easy way to kind of control the pace and the play from the game from that post position.
Redick with the bucket.
No doubt that was a defensive mistake. You got to have a guy on him at all times.
Now here's Paul. And he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
And when he takes it inside, the points are going to come, whether like that possession or just getting to the line. And one of the surprise moves of this past offseason was Chris Paul moving to Houston and joining James Harden to become one of the strongest backcourts in our league. Kicked off a feeling that Houston would be a force this season.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. 1 shot.
And you know, Greg, many thought that Chris Paul may take a look at San Antonio, and he did, but Houston was too enticing a chance to pass up.
It's certainly a distinctive third chapter in Paul's career. He's always been criticized for not going deep in the playoffs, and saw Houston as maybe his best bet to make a deep run.
Rockets leading by 6. Ariza outside. Anderson outside. From deep, Harden. Good for another field goal. Number 5 in the night. 5 for 10 shooting.
And Harden's shot selection, mostly three-pointers or attacking the rim. That's how he achieves his incredible efficiency.
Volts kicks to Johnson. The dish to Simmons. Over Harden. And that one hits back iron. The Rockets have gone 6 of 10 from the floor here in the second quarter. Fires at the elbow. Anderson's shot is off.
Defensively, they could have done better. That's an open look he'd like to have back.
Simmons. No one near fault as he lets it go. Here's Embiid. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. And for Joel Embiid, some real tough times to start his NBA career. Greg sidelined, as we know, for the first 2 seasons with injuries. And just when he got going in season 3, he was dealt a knee injury.
Yeah, it has not been easy. And remember, Joel Embiid is so competitive. You know, he came to the game late, but fell for it hard. And this is what he lives for, to be out on the court helping his team compete.
The first one falls. And Embiid drops them both.
Oh, well, the Rockets have a pretty simple game plan. Put up a ton of threes and get as many deep threats on the floor as you can.
Paul kicks to Harden. Back to Paul. Over Fultz. And Chris Paul the bucket on the assist by Harden. Paul's got the lead up to 9 now for the Rockets. Here's Fultz. 5 points in the game. Johnson the screen. Fultz kicks to Johnson. Wants to get it to Simmons and does. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Embiid. Takes a big height bounce and goes in. Embiid's got 8 points. And often we can exaggerate about how much a team hoists up the threes, but it isn't an exaggeration with the Rockets. They do it at a record pace.
Oh, yeah, at times last season, almost half of their shots were from 3. By far the most three-point attempts in the league. I mean, you look at their offensive numbers, and clearly it was the right approach for them.
And Clint Capella is going to pick up a foul. That's his 3rd foul of the game. The 76ers trail by 7. Embiid with a screen on Paul. And here's Fultz. Outside, Redick. It's tipped. Stolen by Anderson.
And he was camped in just the right spot to swipe that pass away down low.
Ariza passes to Anderson. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. Anderson's got his 2nd bucket.
This is why the man gets paid. This is something Anderson does very well. You have to love how he measures the deep.
Timeout called, the 76ers. And Ryan Anderson perhaps personifies what it means to be a stretch 4. He's 6'10". He came off the bench for 4 years in New Orleans. He's always been a great shooter, Chris, and was exactly what the Rockets were hoping he would be when they signed him.
Look, I know what Anderson was thinking. This is a match made in heaven. He was always a great offensive forward, but the system they use is just perfect for him.
Now here's Fultz. 5 points in the game. Johnson with a screen on Harden. Redick inside the line. The 76ers with another miss.
And the stroke definitely lacking confidence this quarter. Nothing on target.
Here's Paul. And Embiid with the block.
Wow, and the big man Capella has proven to be a reliable role player. A strong physical presence who takes smart shots and contributes well on D.
And one reason why the Rockets were okay with letting Dwight Howard leave was because they knew that Clint Capella could fill that role. He quietly gives this team that finisher down on the block, and he has been absolutely, Chris, huge for the Rockets.
Oh, yeah, maybe the best in the league at finishing off lobs last year. Not the most spectacular, but the most consistent last year on that pick and roll because he's so active without the ball. Always moving, giving guards a target, great hands to catch and finish.
No good on that one. And Chris, I know you've been executive producing and hosting various TV shows. You had a great NBA career, obviously, and it seems like you continue to find success. How's that been for you?
Well, I try to take the same lessons I learned in sports. You know, when I first got to Golden State, the first man I searched out was Chris Mullin and found out all of his habits and stole all of his knowledge, and I tried to take that and move forward, and I try to do the same in other areas. I try to work with the best. I try to learn, work hard, work my way up the rookie ladder and see what happens. And so I've just aligned myself with some really great people, some wonderful thinkers and hard workers, and hopefully it'll continue to have fun like I am doing. So it's been a great ride.
You're always learning, right? You never stop learning.
Man, come on. It's not just about a school or a class or one mentor. It's about everyday learning so that you can kind of learn and put people's knowledge with your unique sense of self and make it work. Why not learn on someone else's dime? Why go through life making mistakes when other people can kind of let you know, wait, I did this, you want to think about that, and kind of just put your own playbook together.
Oh, inflicting some punishment with the two-hand flush.
They're going for the throat. Now Embiid. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Mavericks in Dallas. It is not good. He's made half of his 6 attempts. Ariza with it. Now guarded by Redick. Ariza with the bucket.
Oh, I love the way Ariza sticks it to the defense, out-muscling and out-working anyone in front of him.
The 76ers trail by 13. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Embiid sets the pick for Simmons. Off the screen. It doesn't go for him. Good D by Ariza. Here's Harden. And he converts the layup. Harden's got 13 points.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
The 76ers shooting about 33%. Not happy with their play on that end. Johnson the screen. Fultz dishes to Johnson. It's Redick on the wing. Three-pointer. Harden with the defensive effort.
As he continues to rack up the misses from three-point range, he still appears undeterred. He's going to keep firing from out there.
Kicks it out to Paul. Second chance shot. Offensive rebound. Capella. That's tipped. And he recovers it. Goes up again. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And there's the foul against Philadelphia.
And you know Harden loves using that shot fake and Euro step because it's so hard for defenders not to bite on it. And last season, Harden just put up some incredible numbers all across the board. His assists were league leading, which nobody saw coming. He didn't have a big drop in his own scoring, even as he was creating so much more for others.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Free throw good. James Harden. And with Harden, as you said, Chris, nobody saw his assist totals coming except maybe his coach, Mike D'Antoni, one of the Coach of the Year candidates, certainly all season long with what he did in that 55-win Rockets season. When Harden heard what his coach expected, Chris, he laughed it off.
Yeah, and part of it was this system, but Harden he found his groove. I mean, you think about just the seasons he's had. He's just played incredible, and he's going to have to bring those turnover numbers down. Not used to playing with the ball and not used to being in that position that much. Expect the turnover numbers to come down this season.
Holmes can't get it to go in.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those 2 things that he possesses.
The 76ers trail by 16. Inside. A shot by McConnell, no good.
I like the burst to the bucket right there, but the finish has got to be better.
And Abamute kicks to Nene. And it's Eric Gordon with the foul. That's his first foul. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Houston. There's 1:47 left here in the second. To the right side. Holmes passes to Llewellyn. Okafor with the screen on Brown. McConnell kicks to Okafor. Good. And McConnell gets the assist. And it's 6 points for Jahlil Okafor. Rockets leading by 14. Nene, the screen. And Tucker has it in the corner. Buries it from three-point range. Tucker's got his second bucket tonight.
And a good job taking what the D gives him. He's not going to pass it up with that much space.
Holmes, that's a screen. Okafor with no one around. It's deflected. Tries a 3. Tries yet again. Holmes, good. Holmes got his 3rd basket of the night.
and they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Brown dishes to Tucker. Nene, right side. Trying to find Mbamute. Gets it to him. Holmes with the steal. Here's the break. Covington passes to Luwawu. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse. Luwawu's got his first points in this one. Houston's gotten the three-point bug tonight. They've taken 15 shots outside the arc. They're 6 of 15. Brown kicks to Gordon. No good. So Philadelphia will take it the other way. Atlanta will be traveling to face them after this game. That game marks the first half of a quick two-game homestand. The 76ers have gone 5 of 7 from the free throw line in the game.
Yeah, and fairly decent a season ago, about 77% from the line.
That's good from McConnell.
They've hit every one of their free throws here in the second quarter. Very important when you're trailing.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. Rockets leading by 11. Brown with it. Gordon a screen. Brown dishes to Mbamute. And Tucker has it in the corner. The Rockets with another miss. And so it's Houston holding on to an 11-point cushion as we get ready to take a break. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thank you. Here with Brett Brown. Now, Coach, it seemed like you guys came out a little flat. How do you get some energy for the second half?
You just got to go with the people that have energy. I feel like we are not the aggressors. We have to do whatever we're going to do through our defense, and so far it's been poor.
Brett, thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. James Harden led the way in the first half. He had 14 points, 4 assists, and 1 rebound. What'd you think, Shaq, about the first half we saw from the Rockets?
Well, I like it, Ernie, because they're just not settling for outside shots. You know, that part of the game is pretty when it's going in. We've seen plenty of teams try that and fail. You got to have a balanced approach. And tonight, they found a ton of success inside. Basketball and championships are won inside out. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Philadelphia?
Well, they're trailing in this game because they're shooting under 35%. Now, I've got to give a lot of credit to the defense, forcing the shooters off their spots and making them feel uncomfortable. But if someone takes something away from you, you have to be able to adapt. So they need a whole new game plan because right now they're in trouble.
That'll do it for now. The second half of action coming right up.
Day turning tonight here in the Southwest. We're in Houston. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been 2 quarters. Just a great effort for him for the entire half.
Yeah, right. I mean, the defense hasn't had an answer for this guy yet. Just too skilled, too driven thus far.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. Rockets leading by 11. Kicking off the second half, here's Brett Brown's foul. Fultz and Luwawu team together to make the backcourt. Simmons is out there with Johnson. And it's Embiid in at the center, filling out the middle. And here we go. Fast break. Fultz has got it. Here's Simmons. He gets it to fall. That makes it just a single-digit lead. Simmons got the first points to start out the third quarter for the 76ers. Screen by Capella. Paul kicks to Harden. A three from Anderson. And it's Philadelphia with the rebound. Embiid's got rebound number 8 now on the night.
And for the Sixers, trust the process was the motto. And the process now finally bearing fruit. You see the young talent. Now it's about figuring out how all these pieces fit together.
And here's Harden after J.J. Redick hitting the three.
Oh, the rim protection from Johnson. One more thing that makes him special.
Second half just getting started. About a minute played. Screen by Capella. 6 to shoot. Paul kicks to Capella. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And a look now at the breakdown between 3-point and 2-point shots attempted here tonight for Philadelphia.
And that's a lot of 3-point attempts for a team not shooting it all that well today. If they were making more of them, then great. Keep shooting them and use it to try and get a lead, but it's not helping their cause right now.
The 76ers trail by 6. Now here's Fultz. 5 points in the game. He can't get that one to fall.
And he thought he had a clear path to the hoop, but the defense didn't give up on that play and cut him off.
Capella, and the dunk by Capella.
Oh, man, Capella absolutely destroys the opposition on the offensive glass, using that gigantic body of his to snag down second chance opportunity.
Now here's Fultz. Johnson with a screen on Harden. Embiid sets the pick for Fultz. The drive by Redick. Redick can't get that one to fall. Rockets leading by 8. Inside, here's Capella. Good D by Johnson.
Yeah, the offense scuffling a bit to start this second half. Only 1 for the first 5.
And goaltending is going to be the call, so they get the basket there anyway.
Just barely too late and catches it on the way down. He's already in the air there, committed, so can't fault him for going for the block.
Paul with the ball, now guarded by Fultz. Paul kicks to Capella. Anderson the screen. Lets the 3 fly. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Anderson's got 8.
Now this is what I love, how Anderson is ready to shoot even before he gets the ball. His confidence is through the roof right now.
Fultz the pass to Redick. Johnson kicks to Redick. Embiid with a screen on Harden. Redick dishes to Embiid. He got right to the cup using that screen. He's got 10.
Oh, he took a terrific angle right there off the screen, something they work on every day in practice.
Third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Paul kicks to Capella. Paul outside, and stolen by Simmons. Left side, Redick, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That's on Clint Capella.
And J.J. Redick with the prototype when it comes to his release point on that jump shot. So quick off the catch. Always has his feet set and squared and ready to deliver that dagger.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one misses. Hey, Greg, with Redick, that great shooting form he has is one of the reasons his game has aged so well.
And a lot of people wondered if Redick would be able to last in the NBA when he was drafted. Might have one of the longest careers of that draft class. Just keeps producing at any age.
Now, here is Harden. 14 points for him. Here's Paul, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
And checking out some numbers here for J.J. Redick. Last season's performance for him. 5th in 3-point shooting and ranked in the top 15 in free throw percentage. Tremendous confidence and technique at the line.
And you said it, top 5 percentage from deep. I don't think last year was an aberration. He's one of the deadliest sharpshooters in the game. Free throw drops for Paul. And last season, the Rockets retired Yao Ming's number for the organization, a career cut short by injuries, but he was such a huge part of the history here, and it was great to see that honor bestowed on him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Yao Ming, one of the largest players I've ever seen in this game. I remember having to go up against him. He was so skilled for a player his size. That's a great battle. And as great of a free throw shooter as he is, it's still a part of his game. He works very hard at it.
In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. On the wing, Johnson. Capella covering. 5 to shoot. Here's Simmons. The 76ers again can't hit it.
It's clear this just isn't his night. I mean, if they're going to keep him on the floor, I think his best role would be to be a decoy.
Here's Ariza. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Ariza's got 6.
It's clear to me. Is it clear to you that Ariza feels at home in the post? I mean, just working his way inside and nailing these quality shots.
And Simmons kicks to Redick. Embiid the screen. Redick passes to Embiid. And it's Paul penetrating. It's good. Paul's got 4 points in the quarter.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring. And this one couldn't have been any easier.
I mean, I don't know whether to say it's amazing or it's sad, but you're down double digits and you still allow an uncontested layup. Where is the pride? Where is your heart?
Timeout called the 76ers. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated. Oh, what terrific hustle. He's got a nose for the rebound.
Greg, he's ferocious when the ball goes up. Screen by Capella. And here's Anderson from the arc. It's hauled in by the 76ers. Embiid's got 11 rebounds in the game. Over in the corner, Fultz. Embiid sets the pick for Fultz. Stolen by Anderson. Harden outside. Out to the wing. Capella inside. Guarded by Simmons. And it's Capella missing.
You can't be missing shots like that in the post. That'll get you a spot on the bench.
And Redick kicks to Fultz. Johnson the screen. 6 to shoot. Here's Simmons.
Yeah, whenever Simmons gets a chance to show off his insane jumping skills, he seizes it.
That unleashed chaos Under Armour replay really giving us a good look at the action. Now, here is Harden. 14 points for him.
Tremendous effort. I mean, this guy has already cracked double digits on the backboard.
Yeah, just outworking guys in there, being accountable, being a leader by example.
Here's Fultz. Johnson the screen. Redick with the 3. Another 3 for Philadelphia.
Next, a great pick that time by Johnson. I mean, that's another area where he excels.
And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets.
And rarely do you see a team trade out of the first overall pick, but that's exactly what the Celtics did with Fultz. Sixers jumped on the chance to move up, and Fultz matched exactly what they wanted to add to this team.
Houston, a whole new 5 on the floor. Rockets leading by 4. Brown dishes to Nene. Outside Gordon. Offensive struggles continue, missing again. And you know, Greg, for the trade, it wasn't so much a critique of Fultz.
You know, Boston had a playmaker already, and they might not have taken Fultz if they stayed in the #1 spot. And listen, the Sixers were in desperate need of a lead guard, and they got a franchise caliber one in Fultz.
And Okafor with the block. Here's McConnell. Off target with his 3. Houston's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Round kicks to Mbamute. And the dunk by Mbamute.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
But it's surprising, Kev, to see so little urgency on the defensive side, especially with them losing this game right now.
Here's McConnell. And Mbamute pulls it in. And Mbamute has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Gordon, the pass to Tucker. Drills it from outside. Tucker's got 9.
Ooh, Gordon does more than shoot the ball well. He has great passing instincts.
Here's McConnell. Pass to Llewellyn. Deflects the pass. Here's Covington. Okafor kicks to McConnell. It's tipped, and the block shot turns into a shooting foul. So the defensive effort there a bit too much, as the officials will send him to the line, and he'll shoot some free throws. He's gone 2 for 2 at the line so far.
And last season, he was successful 81% of the time when he went to the line, so he didn't waste a lot of opportunities.
Shooting 2.
First free throw is good.
And T.J. McConnell, undrafted out of Arizona, but he caught on with the Sixers, and I tell you what, made an immediate impact. Standing at about 6'2" and just over 200 pounds. He brings that physicality at the defensive end of the floor.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws. And Greg, you were a defensive-minded guard. Do you see any similarities to what McConnell brings to the table?
You know, I love his toughness. He's got quick feed, a strong lower base, and, you know, he gets into you, and he racks up his fair share of steals because of it.
The 76ers trail by 7. And here's Covington. He has 6. Three-pointer. And the rebound goes to Nene. Nene's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole, because he is just not there offensively.
Houston moving it around. Gordon for 3. Make it 5 for 10 with him in that bucket.
And Gordon has always been a lethal perimeter shooter. When he gets a clean look, he doesn't hesitate pulling the trigger.
To the inside. Here's Okafor. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Okafor's got 8.
I mean, he makes plays like that in his sleep. The game is just far too easy.
Round kicks to Gordon. Nene, the screen. On the wing, Gordon. Nene down low. He's against Okafor. And Nene with the stuff.
And Kevin, plays like that, really the reason they've got a nice lead right now. Just a great job on the glass.
And Greg, the jam and the follow gets their whole bench jumping. Look at them. They are really into it.
But that's all about going back to the fundamentals. Defensive rebounding, you got to have it, especially when you're getting whacked.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And for the Sixers, a lot of missed rookie seasons over the years. First Nerlens Noel, then Joel Embiid, now Ben Simmons.
Yeah, but in many cases, I think they drafted them knowing they might be out of commission for a while. Still, I think the Philly fans probably hope not to hear the phrase foot fracture for a long time. Hopefully, they can keep everybody healthy and get this thing moving forward.
That free throw good from Holmes. He doesn't get the second one. Well, you knew that the Rockets were going to be an offensive juggernaut with their roster and Mike D'Antoni at the helm, but seeing it in action is still jaw-dropping at times. I mean, you're amazed. They can put up a lot of points in a hurry.
Yeah, and the team plays at an incredibly high pace, which accounts for some of their big numbers. But they do a good job of finding smart shots and making the most of their possessions. This team can truly be scary when they're clicking.
Now, here's Brown. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And a moment here to check out the numbers for Gordon, how he performed last season. Last season put up about 16 points a game, 2 assists and 2 rebounds. When you have a shooter like him off the bench, it makes scoring so much easier for the bench.
Yeah, when he's taking on the scorer's role for that second unit, then the others can go focus on what they naturally do best.
The first free throw is good. And Brown drops them both.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
The 76ers trail by 11. The pass to Luau. He kicks to Okafor. 1:27 left in the third. Holmes can't get it to go in. Houston's gotten the three-pointer to fall to the tune of 50% here in the third quarter. They've made 3 of 6. Here's Gordon. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup. Gordon's got 5 points in the quarter. Now McConnell. Pass to Luau. Now here's Covington. He's guarded closely. With the teardrop, and the rebound goes to Nene. And here are the Rockets. They're on a 14-5 run here. Brown outside. He wants to get it to Nene and does. Excellent D there from Okafor.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
And that one drops. McConnell's got 6.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
Now here's Brown. He's got 5. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. And as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball here.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Oh, man, yeah, he read it all the way. He got a jump on it. Very close.
Mbamute with it, guarded by Holmes. And now Philadelphia on the break. Here's Luau, and he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
And a good example there of why it's important to change ends quickly.
Yeah, talent in this league has it so that now pretty much every team can push the pace. You have to get back on defense.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And a very steady season for him at the charity stripe last year. He was right at 85%.
$12 seconds left to play in the third. Outside Gordon. With 2 seconds left. No good there. And we've reached the end of the third. The Rockets on top. They're up by 8. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the fourth quarter. Three quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. The 76ers trail by 8. They've got P.J. Tucker. Brown out there with Gordon. Then there's Nene. And it's Mbamute in at the 4. That's the 5 for Houston right now. And here's Houston. 17 points was their biggest margin. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
hits the moving target with the lead pass. He made it look so easy.
Paul's checked in for Brown. Nene, no good on the free throw. The 76ers trail by 10. Kicks it to Covington. The tray. Back to McConnell. Passes it to Luwawu. Covington against Mbamute. Here's Okafor. And another shot. He lays it in.
Nice work to get in position for the rebound and the putback. He has no off switch.
Now here's Paul. He's covered by McConnell. Covington with the steal. Stolen by Nene. Mbamute. And that one, good. And the Rockets lead by 10. The 76ers have gone 1 of 4 since the end of the third quarter. Pass to Luwawu. Okafor with the ball. And it's wide right. It's off the rim. Gordon kicks to Paul. A little over a minute and a half of the fourth quarter gone now. Here is Mbamute. Back to Paul. Over McConnell. Paul's shot is off.
Almost every look he gets inside is a good one, but the D hangs in there and makes it a tough one.
It's Covington on the wing. Okafor sets the pick for Covington. Clock at 4. And it's Okafor missing.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Oh, wonderful anticipation. He reads the play perfectly, then with the quick reaction time.
Now, here's Mbamute. Gordon dishes to Nene. Kicks it out to Gordon. That shot off, and it's Philadelphia the other way. McConnell passes to Covington. Here's Luwawu. And it's Okafor at the elbow. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Shooting 2.
The first one falls. Houston with a big group substitution here. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Nene. Anderson comes in for Mbamute. Trevor Ariza's checked in for P.J. Tucker. And it's James Harden in for Gordon. And Philadelphia will go for a different look here. Joel Embiid, he's checked in for Rashawn Holmes. Simmons comes in for Robert Covington. J.J. Redick's checked in for Luwawu Cabarrot. And it's Fulton for T.J. McConnell. Both free throws good from Okafor. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. Paul outside. Screen by Capella. Harden kicks to Ariza. Capella sets a screen for Ariza. That's good from Paul on the assist by Ariza. Ariza's got 4 assists now tonight. Fultz dishes to Okafor. Here's the screen to the inside. Embiid.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Oh, yeah, incredible teamwork there. A play you perfect only by practicing it until you're blue in the face.
Here's Paul. Count the basket. Paul's got 4 points now in the quarter.
He's definitely been a different player this second half. He's shooting lights out now, much different after a tough first half.
Pick by Okafor. And Reddick kicks to Simmons over Ariza. And it's off the back rim, no good. Rockets leading by 10. And Harden wide open, he shoots. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got 3 assists in the game. Fultz kicks to Okafor. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. Count that bucket. 16 points for Joel Embiid.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
It's tipped, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Embiid. And Philadelphia making a change here. Johnson's checked in. Shoots a 3. Knocks down the 3 ball. 9 points for Ariza.
Yeah, these defenders had better start closing down on shooters.
Fultz the pass to Johnson. And there's the feed to Fultz. They set the pick. Johnson the screen. 5 on the clock.
Ooh! That's how you attack. Wow.
Attack the rim, baby. Shooting 1. Move out the way. One shot, gentlemen.
And the Australian Simmons, a star in the making, folks. Thanks really in part to that tremendous skill set to go along with that gigantic frame.
Screen by Capella. Harden gets to Ariza. Capella with a screen on Simmons. To the inside. And it's Capella missing.
Well, it's been a rough game for him, but it won't sting too bad as long as they hang on to the lead.
Now here's Fultz. D right on him. Feeds to Simmons. Dishes it to Embiid. And a miss there with a chance to cut the lead to single digits. Rockets leading by 11. Here's Harden. And Harden with the stuff.
I mean, you gotta love, I love the aggressiveness of Harden on offense. Just relentless in how he constantly looks for shots.
Philadelphia shooting just 35%. They've got to get better looks. Now here's Fultz, defended by Paul. Embiid with a screen on Ariza. Simmons dishes to Embiid. Clock at 4. Offensive rebound. Second shot opportunity. And Simmons with the layup. Simmons got 5 points now this quarter.
Oh, what an incredible effort from Simmons, using his length so well when he's hitting the boards.
Anderson the screen. But they recover it.
They are really crashing the offensive glass, and it's paying off for them.
Offensive rebound. They shoot again. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
What makes Harden so special is his explosiveness. This guy can just turn it on whenever he wants to on offense.
And watching James Harden, the amount of shots he is able to create for himself and his teammates, he just does so much from his position that is unrivaled. One of the greatest offensive threats, not only today, but really of the last decade.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
And the first one drops. And for Harden, he's been in the conversation, Greg, for MVP for several years. The way he's able to just carry an offense with his creativity garners attention.
And Kevin, I think he might have won it last year if it wasn't for the amazing season put in by Russell Westbrook. Don't count Harden out, though. He's such a unique talent on offense. Maybe this will be his year to bring home that MVP award.
The 76ers trail by 13. Now here's Fultz. Johnson outside. It's Redick on the wing. Clock at 6. He dishes it to Embiid. Shoots over Capella. Again, Embiid missing. Rockets leading by 13. In the corner, Harden. Back to Paul. Over Fultz. Got a piece of it.
And love how high Fultz gets on these rejections, utilizing his terrific length to spike shots back.
Now here's Fultz. Johnson the screen. Fultz the pass to Simmons. Over Ariza. Simmons missing again. Rockets have got a pretty good rhythm going offensively, shooting 8 of 15 for the quarter. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. Well, Ryan Anderson, a terrific deep threat in stretch 4.
And I remember last season when he told reporters that a heckler yelled out at him, "Hey, Ryan, you look like a math teacher." And you know, we've heard a lot of these off-the-wall heckles before. But the irony is it's oftentimes the strange ones that tend to stick with you more. And that's an example of it right there.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
And he makes the first.
I love and admire Anderson's consistency. A terrific stretch 4, a real matchup problem for many teams.
And so he hits both. The 76ers trail by 17 and out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession.
That's just a lack of communication. Two guys just not on the same page.
Houston's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Harden kicks to Anderson. It's Ariza on the wing. He feeds it to Capella. Shoots over Embiid. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Capella's got 4 points in the quarter.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Embiid the screen. Fultz kicks to Redick. Embiid sets the pick for Redick. Shot to stop the run. And the rejection by Harden.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
The drive by Paul. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
Thought he was going to be able to take advantage of the D there. He had the space.
That one drops for him.
And I just love when Fultz goes with that floater, showing a desire to add to his arsenal offensively.
Here's Harden. But they get it back.
And they've gotten very aggressive on the offensive glass here in the second half, getting a lot of second chance points.
Here's Fultz. Redick with the 3. Redick can't get that one to fall. Houston leading by 19 points. And here's Harden. Ariza outside and stolen by Simmons. Jumps up and Simmons slams it in.
How about the activity of Simmons, mucking up passing lanes and making life difficult on the opposition. So good at getting steals.
Now here is Harden, and a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Johnson the screen, and they call an illegal screen here.
And he wasn't going to get away with that one. Still in motion when he set that screen.
He even knew he wasn't in good position. He tried to slide himself into a better spot. The official wasn't happy.
Now Ariza. There's the screen. Here's Harden. And Houston again with the bucket.
And Harden really cashes in from the mid-range. I mean, he makes a living torching defenses from there.
Now here's Fultz. He's tightly guarded. Outside for Redick. From deep. Nailed from three-point land. Redick's got 10 points here in the second half.
Now, that's a shot they'll be happy with on every trip, no matter who's taking.
Harden dishes to Anderson. To the middle. Here's Capella. That's good. He's 5 for 9.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Rockets.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And during the long NBA season, each contest important here tonight. Tonight's win will give them 4 on the season.
No doubt they came in very motivated to win this one and finish the season series at a game apiece.
And guys, one of the steady and outstanding players putting in another impressive performance. It was a big-time outing for James Harden.
He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot hand.
Here's Capella after Ben Simmons' bucket. And Anderson kicks to Paul. Out of bounds. Rockets ball as Houston keeps possession. And Philadelphia will go for a different look here. Rashawn Holmes, he's checked in for Embiid. Robert Covington comes in for Amir Johnson. Luwawu Cabarrot, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. And it's T.J. McConnell in for Fultz.
You can see that he definitely takes rebounding seriously, and his size really helps him come down with plenty of those tough boards.
Covington with the bucket.
This is not the team we've been watching for most of the night.
Monster scoring run, but had to do this earlier. Now it shoulda, woulda, coulda, all that.
1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Brown kicks to Gordon. There's the dish to Tucker. Houston moving the ball around. The Rockets again can't hit. Here's Luwawu. Baamute with the steal. So we see Houston taking the W here. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. And once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Chris, big win tonight. What do you think was the biggest factor?
I mean, I don't know. You know, it was just our defense. You know, obviously our offense fed off of it. Guys made open shots, but I think we really locked down defensively, and that's what we're trying to make sure is that we're a defensive team every night.
Well, you were a defensive team tonight, Chris. Thanks for your time. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for being with us. See you later.